Hello friends and welcome. Does anyone else start creating their wish list of products for the Sephora sale weeks in advance? Well, I confess that I definitely do. For those of us who need to restock some makeup or skincare items, snag some special items that have been on our wish list, or just try something new, the good news is that the Sephora Spring Savings Sale is coming our way quite soon. So today, I thought it would be fun to get ready using some favorite products that I've purchased previously during their sale, and which I love, and share a few other skincare and makeup sale recommendations for those of us over 50. And I'll also share the skincare and makeup products that are on my wish list that I plan to purchase during the upcoming sale. For those of you who are new here, welcome. And for those of you who are returning, it's wonderful to have you back again. My name is Elise, and I created this channel to provide makeup inspiration, ideas, tips, and techniques for those of us who are north of 50. As a professional working makeup artist whose passion is helping those of us over 50 look our best, I often hear women say that they don't think their look reflects how they actually feel. And as one woman put it, I want to do something for myself so I can find me again. So if the mission of this channel is a good match for you, I hope you'll subscribe before you leave today. And now, please join me as I get ready using some great products that I've purchased at Sephora in the past and share my recommendations and wish list. And in case some of these products pique your interest, I've listed and included links to all of these products that I'll be applying and recommending, and which are on my wish list, in the description box below. Sephora's semi-annual sale begins on Friday, April 14th and runs through April 24th. Rouge members who get 20% off will have access to sale items starting right away on April 14th through the end of the sale. VIP members will get 15% off from April 18th through April 24th. And Beauty Insiders who get 10% off will also have access to the sale starting on April 18th. And if you aren't already a Beauty Insider, it's certainly easy to become one, and there's no cost involved whatsoever. All you need to do is go to the Sephora website and apply, and you'll be able to receive a 10% discount that you can use during the sale. And the code, by the way, to use at the checkout for the sale is SAVE-NOW in all cap letters. I've done my skin prep, filled in my brows, and applied my eye primer. And since I used favorite Sephora products to do these parts of my makeup routine, let me share them with you. The two skincare products from Sephora that I regularly use are my Shani Darden Retinol Reform and her Lactic Acid Exfoliating Serum. I apply these on alternate nights after I apply my two serums from Timeless, which I've also linked below. I've previously used Shani Darden's Weightless Oil-Free Moisturizer, but I only had the mini version and I've already run out of it. So since I loved how well it moisturized and how wonderfully lightweight it felt, Shani Darden's moisturizer is the one skincare product that I'll be purchasing during this particular sale. Another skincare product I regularly use and recommend is Tatcha's The Rice Wash Skin Softening Cleanser, which does exactly what the name says. It leaves my face not only clean, but also wonderfully soft. It now comes in 3 different sizes, so a great way to sample it is to try the mini version first to see how you like it. Twice a week, I exfoliate my skin with Tatcha's The Rice Polish Foaming Enzyme Powder. Well, at least that's my goal, although I have to admit that I sometimes do get a little lax with this particular part of my routine. This Tatcha Rice Polish Exfoliating product lasts a very long time because you really only need a very small amount. I use the deep version, but it also comes in 3 other formulations: gentle, calming, and classic. I also love Kiehl's Clearly Corrected Dark Spot Correcting Serum, and I'll be purchasing that next time. For my brows today, I first applied my ABH Brow Powder Duo in medium brown, which I will always reorder. My last one lasted almost 2 years, and I just started a new one a few weeks ago. What I love most about this particular product is that it comes with 2 colors, so we can really customize the shade that works best for our brows. I usually start by filling in my brows with the lighter shade, and then fill in a little bit more with the darker shade. Then, to keep my brow hairs in place and also add a little bit more fullness to these brows, which they definitely need, I use Merit's 1980 Volumizing Eyebrow Pomade Gel. I use brown, but it also comes in blonde and black brown. The added fibers in this brow gel are what create the fuller brow look that I really need. If you've watched many of my videos, you'll definitely be surprised by the eye primer that I use today. It's Rare Beauty's Weightless Eyeshadow Primer from her Always an Optimist collection. For some reason, when I first tried this Rare Beauty primer, I dismissed it, probably because it's such a thin liquid, and I definitely have to have an eye primer that does a really good job of covering the discoloration on my eyelids. I have learned over the years that it's always a good idea to give a product a second or even a third try, and I'm so glad I did that with this product because now I absolutely love it. It is thin, but it not only covers up the discoloration extremely well, but it also gives some brightness to the eye area, which I love. If I could only save one of my eyeshadow palettes, this is the one I'd save. It's my Natasha Denona Biba palette. Now, this is saying a lot because my eyeshadow palettes are a little like my children since I absolutely love all of them. Well, most of them. But I've chosen this eyeshadow palette because the variety of neutrals is stunning, the formula is outstanding, and there are also 3 metallics, which are the perfect wearable neutral shades. One is a champagne color, one is a pink champagne, and the third is a gorgeous copper color. The top row consists of rich brown shades, the middle row has wine and burgundy colors, and the bottom row has blue-gray shades, which is really pretty unusual. If you haven't ever tried a Natasha Denona eyeshadow palette, this sale would provide a great opportunity to give one a try. This Biba palette is one of her larger, more expensive palettes, which unfortunately isn't on the Sephora website right now, but a great way to give her eyeshadow formula a try without breaking the bank is to purchase one of her 5-pan mini eyeshadow palettes. And she does have a 5-pan mini Biba palette, which is available at Sephora. It has 4 mattes and 1 metallic. But if you might want to try a mini palette that's not all neutral shades, there are 13 other mini palettes to choose from on the Sephora site. So now let's go ahead and create a look with the Natasha Denona Biba palette. I'm going to start off by applying this lighter color called Tusk all over my eyelid, and then I'll fill in the crease with this shade called Freckle. And this shade Tusk pretty much matches my skin color, although it is slightly darker. And as you can see, I get pigment payoff right away. And this is a great transition color for the crease area. And these shadows almost blend themselves. They're absolutely wonderful. And I'm going to bring it up slightly higher because I do have hooded eyes. And this way, it's possible to actually see the shadow. And then I like to half close my lids and just sort of assess that I have the same amount on each eye. Then I'm going to take this deeper color called Rayon and put it on the outer part of my crease and lid. And I'm just lifting it up slightly at the outer part just to give my eyes some lift. Then I definitely need to do some blending. And you can certainly see what a difference the blending makes. And I'm taking a little bit more of that color Tusk, which we used first on the eyelid, and I'm just using it to lighten up the middle of the lid. And then I'm going to go around the outer edges of the crease color just to make sure everything looks really seamless and blended. Then, just for the fun of it, I'm taking this beautiful metallic color called Monroe, and I'm going to put that on the center of my lid. And this is another way just to give some more dimension to the eyes and really make the eyes pop a little bit. But these metallics are so creamy that they don't look harsh. So I just want a soft, neutral look, so that's all I'm going to do. And then I'm going to take my makeup wipe and make sure I get rid of any fallout, and also get rid of a little bit of the eyeshadow on the outer part of my crease, which helps lift my eye area. I don't want any eyeshadow below this line. And then I'm taking this small brush, it's the Sigma E30, and I'm going to apply just a little bit of a mid-tone color on the outer 1/3 under my eyes. I went back to the shade Freckle. And Freckle is really a nice neutral shade, just enough to give the eyes a little bit more definition. And notice that I'm also flicking it a little bit at the end to lift. And then I'm gently going to tap it in. Then just to give a little bit more interest, I'm taking this warmer shade called Prairie, and I'm just going to put a touch of that in the middle part of the crease area. I'm going to use one of the dark eyeshadow colors as my eyeliner, and I'll apply the eyeliner and mascara off camera, so I'll be right back. Moving on to face products, I'm going to use a newer product that I've purchased that I'm really enjoying. It's a face primer from RMS Beauty, which is a clean beauty brand. It's their Re-Evolve Radiance Locking Hydrating Primer. And to open it, you simply twist the top. So I'm just putting a little bit on the back of my hand and then applying. I can really feel the hydration, which is one of the reasons I love this primer. I also love the fact that it's possible to buy a refill for this product, which is a really nice innovative touch. It was tough to choose a foundation today because I have several favorites right now that I actually rotate a lot through my routine. My Sephora favorites include the Sephora brand Best Skin Ever Foundation, the IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better Foundation, the Kosas Revealer Foundation, Charlotte Tilbury's Beautiful Skin Foundation, and the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. And the one I'm missing here is the IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better Foundation. And some of the Armani Luminous Silk Foundation shades also come in a mini size, which is a great way to try it. Since I don't think I've ever applied the Armani foundation in one of my videos, today I'm going to go with the Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. Since the Armani foundation creates a natural finish and I want to add just a touch of glow, I'm going to mix into the foundation some of my Saie Beauty Glowy Super Lightweight Dewy Highlighter. That's a mouthful to say. Let me create some swatches so you can see what the finish of the foundation looks like before adding the Saie Beauty highlighter and what it looks like after adding it. Up here is the natural finish of the Armani foundation, and then below it I've added some of the Saie Beauty highlighter and probably added a little too much because that is awfully glowy. I'm going to cut that back when I actually mix it in with the foundation and apply it. But I think you can see what a difference adding some of that highlighter makes to giving a little bit of glow to this natural finish foundation. I used 1 pump of the Armani foundation and about a little less than half a pump of the Saie Beauty highlighter. And hopefully this will give me the finish that I'm looking for. Yeah, I think this is really doing it. This is really a beautiful foundation, and one of the other things I love about it is that there are a lot of shade options, so I really have pretty much a perfect shade match. To better cover a few age spots, I always reach for my Clinique Even Better Concealer, which has fantastic coverage. And then I just like to pat it in so I don't lose the amount of coverage that this gives. If I didn't pat it in, I would sheer it out, which is not what I want to do. And I think this concealer comes in, somewhere near 40 different shades, so it's almost impossible not to be able to find a good match. For my corrector under my eyes, I've recently rediscovered a product that I absolutely love, but I've been neglecting. It's the Becca Smashbox Under Eye Brightening Corrector, which is wonderfully creamy. And then over it, I'm going to dot on just a small amount of my Kosas concealer in a shade that's slightly lighter than my foundation. And this is the corrector from Becca, originally Becca, and then Smashbox took it over when Becca went out of business. And thank goodness they took it over because a lot of us would really miss this product. And they also kept some of Becca's highlighters. I just love how soft and creamy this is. And I'm just going to pat it in with my finger. I don't want to take it up right under my eye because I want to keep that area really as free from a lot of products as possible so it doesn't start to look cakey. And then just dot on a little concealer. And again, I'm just going to press it in. And this I'm going to bring down a little bit lower just to give a little bit more light to this area of my face. So I'm covering the corrector, but I'm also bringing the concealer down a little bit lower. Then to prevent any creasing, I'm taking a little bit of my Kosas powder and I'm just pressing it in. Just a very small amount. And this is a Kosas powder in the shade Cloud Set. And I think there is one lighter shade as well. Just glancing in the mirror, I'm realizing how much I love this Armani foundation. It is really pretty amazing. For my contour product, I would normally use my Huda Beauty Tantour Cream, which is my absolute favorite contour. But I want to give a second chance today to a contour that I wasn't originally very impressed with. It's Patrick Ta's Major Sculpt Cream Contour and Powder Bronzer in the shade She's Sculpted. The cream is on top and it's covered by a nice little plastic lid, which is really helpful. So I'm going to take my Huda Beauty contouring brush, which as you can tell is really made for contouring. I love it. Don't want to get it in my hair, but I usually do. And bring it under my cheekbone just to about here. I think one of the problems may have been that I really didn't get enough on the brush because this doesn't pick up particularly easily. You just really have to push the brush in to get the amount. And under my jawline with what's left over and along my hairline. And just dip in a little bit more. And then the other end of the brush just is perfect for blending it in. This type of tool, a brush like this, really makes the whole application process easier. This particular contour doesn't give me as much color payoff as my Tantour contour does, so if you want a really nice natural application, this works well. But it's a little bit hard to build up. So I think for special occasions, I will definitely stick to my Huda Beauty Tantour contour. For blush, I'm going with my favorite from Rare Beauty, which is the Stay Vulnerable blush in the shade Neutral. It also comes in 4 other shades. And I have to admit, I love this cute clamshell packaging. So I like to just dot it on first and then do some blending. And I really am more of a fan of more of a natural blush look, so I don't apply a lot of blush. I'm going to carry what's left over just up and around. You know, blush is such a personal thing. Some people really love the look of a little bit more blush, and some of us just prefer a little bit more of a natural flush. Well, that's what makeup is all about. Doing what we love and experimenting and having fun in the process. And I'll just make it a little bit deeper, just so it shows up a little bit better with these lights. And I'm putting it in the middle of my cheekbone area and lifting it up toward the temple to give my face a little bit of lift. And then I'm taking my foundation brush and just smoothing everything in around the edges. And I also really like and recommend the liquid blush from Rare Beauty, which is a little bit more highly pigmented, so it's really important just to put a tiny drop in first. And also 2 new shades have come out with this liquid formula. One is called Worth, which is a true rose shade, and the other is called Virtue, which is a lovely beige pink shade. I frankly love to customize my color with this liquid blush formula, so I usually like mixing together the two shades Encourage, which is a soft neutral pink, and Happy, which is a dewy cool pink. Let me show you. So here are the two shades on their own, Happy at the top and Encourage below it, and then underneath I've mixed the two shades together. Another blush that I highly recommend is one from RMS Beauty, which is called their Redimension Hydra Powder Blush, which is stunning. And even though it's technically a powder blush, it's not your normal powder blush because it really does feel very hydrating. And it comes in 6 absolutely stunning colors. For highlighter, I'm going to go with my all-time favorite one from RMS Beauty, the Living Luminizer Cream Highlighter in the shade Magic. Sephora carries 3 of the shades of this highlighter. They carry the Living Luminizer, which is a satin pearl, the Champagne Rose, which has a very light hint of pink, and then the Magic Luminizer, which is my favorite, as I mentioned. And this one has the highest intensity shine and a very subtle hint of pink. The Champagne highlighter is at the top. The Magic one I'm going to be using is on the bottom left, and then the regular Living Luminizer is on the bottom right. The other shade in here is a bronzer, which is also beautiful. These are so creamy, and they just meld into the skin beautifully. Then I'm taking my other finger, which has no product on it, and just going over the edges. Again, just to make it look seamless. I think you can see what a lovely, nice glow that creates. And by the way, one of my other favorite blushes is also from RMS Beauty. It's their cream blush, and this is in the color Demure. It's on the bottom left. In fact, I'm just going to dot a little bit of this on. It is such a lovely soft pink color. To tamp down the oiliness in my T-zone, I almost always reach for my Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Powder, which does an exceptional job of mattifying that area of my face. I just tapped a little bit into the lid, and then I'm just going to push it in, basically gently, to the middle part of my face. To meld all these products together and create a lovely soft glow, I will not go without my Hourglass finishing powder. I most often reach for my palette, but fortunately, there are single mini versions of many of these colors that are available as well. I'm going to use this color called Diffused Light to go all over my face. And I'm going to add just a little bit of the blush as well. I just combined the two blushes at the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and apply my lipstick off camera and my gloss, and I will be right back. The products I use to apply my makeup are some of my favorite Sephora purchase products, and I also mentioned a few other recommendations along the way. But now I'd like to share with you my wish list products that I'm very excited about purchasing during the sale, and hopefully they'll all still be in stock. I'll be purchasing Shani Darden's moisturizer, the Natasha Denona Retro Glam palette, since I'm absolutely in love with the color story of this palette, the new Saie Beauty Glowy Super Skin Lightweight Foundation, and one of the new cooler undertone shades of the Rare Beauty Bronzer Sticks. The shade that I'm going to be purchasing is called Bright Side. I'm also going to purchase the Westman Atelier Face Trace Cream Contour Stick, which I've heard great things about, but I've never tried this brand, and the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Finishing Powder in the shade Mood Light, which is a soft lavender. And I also have to take a moment to mention my 3 all-time favorite perfumes. And one, surprisingly, is actually a relatively new favorite. For many years, my 2 signature fragrances have been Chanel's Cocoa and Allure, which I absolutely adore. Cocoa has a spicy woody core with rose-orange accents, and one person described it as conjuring up a non-edible impression of powdery cinnamon and clove. Allure, on the other hand, is a fresh floral ambery fragrance. But recently, I've added a very different fragrance to my favorites list, Tom Ford's Black Orchid. On a whim, I opted for a sample of this Tom Ford fragrance during the last Sephora sale and was frankly a little bit shocked when I fell in love with it. It's a sweet, earthy, warm, spicy scent with a touch of Mexican chocolate and truffle. It smells sweet and, quite honestly, very sensual. Now, I have to confess that I may eventually have to trim down my wish list products that I plan to purchase to fit my budget. And I also just briefly want to mention some good news regarding access to Sephora stores in the US, Canada, and the UK. For those of you in the US who don't have a standalone Sephora store near you, Sephora already has 200 existing stores within Kohl's department stores and is in the process of adding another 400. And in 2021, 60 new Sephora standalone locations were added, and 85% of them were located in suburban locations rather than in malls. And I guess it's not surprising, but unfortunate, that Sephora will be closing all of their current locations in JCPenney stores within the next few years. I understand those of you in Canada have access to 100 Sephora stores across the country, and I read that those of you in the UK have been able to shop online at Sephora recently, but you have not had a brick and mortar store in the UK for many years, until earlier this very month with the grand opening of a store in West London. And apparently other stores are in the planning stages. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if so, please hit that thumbs up icon. And please let us all know in the comment section below what products you're looking forward to purchasing during the upcoming Sephora sale. Until we see each other again, I wish you good health and happiness and hope you have a really fabulous rest of your day. Take care.